Hello. Alright, let's get right into it. Sorry if my voice recording is garbage. Also, in this NVIDIA broadcast puts this stupid OBS thing over here, but hopefully the broadcast will filter out any noise. So first of all, you want to make sure you have Visual Studio. Community Edition's fine, that's what I'm using. I have 2019, but the newer one should be the exact same process. Now when you install, make sure that you install the desktop development with C++ module, and inside there should be a checkbox that mentions C++ and CMake, and it should be checked by default, but just make sure that it is. If you already have Visual Studio, you can run the installer from the start menu, click modify, and you can see this menu and you can just make sure that it's checked. Alright, so to get the code, we're going to use git. Technically, yeah, you could just download the zip, but I'm going to be the nagging voice in your head and just say, just do it. Go git. And then that's easy. You just type git, G-I-T, 3 letters, into your search engine of choice, and it'll bring you here. And then download for Windows and get the installer, and you can change options if you want, but you're perfectly fine. Just click next, and then finish. And then now, once you've done that, you can right click into any folder or on the desktop, and then you say git bash here, and then you say git clone. That's 2 words, and then we go back to the dsda-doom GitHub page. Click this little green button, and then you click this button here to copy this URL, and then we're going back to that window and we'll paste it in. Right click, paste, so that it says git clone and then the git URL for dsda-doom. You hit enter, and then there you go. You've now downloaded the dsda-doom project. And now that you have git, if CraftLab and company change the source code, you just go in here and then right click, open and git bash again. Or if you know how to change directory in this window, just do that, whatever. And then you say git pull. And then as long as you haven't changed the exact lines of code that they have, it should just pull everything down and you'll be up to date. If there are conflicts, you can either learn a bit more about Git to merge to fix any conflicts, or you could just be lazy like I do and just delete the whole project and git clone again, which developers log off. Anyway, so then we're going to make sure that we have the SDL2 libraries that we need to build dsda-doom. And then yet again, you just go to your search engine, type SDL, and then it should take you right to here. And then so it takes you to this page, and then you click SDL releases, and under development libraries you're going to click to download under Windows the Visual C++ development library. So you click that, download it. I have it downloaded here, and I unzipped it right there. So now that you have the project checked out in SDL, we're going to go back to the internet and then search for CMake, CMake, and then that will take you here to the CMake homepage. Click download latest release, and you want to download under binary distributions. In this case, we're doing Windows 64-bit, so download the Windows x64 installer, and then download that, and default options if you want, if you don't want to change anything. And then once that's installed, you should be able, from your start menu, to just launch the CMake GUI, and then that will bring you right here. And normally these are empty. I just had run from my other build. So then for this top text box here, we're gonna come back to our project checkout. So we have two windows open, and then click in the address bar, copy that, come back in here. Actually, yeah, you're right. Inside here, I'm wrong. In the project folder, make sure you click prboom 2. That's where the actual project is. So then we're going to copy that address, or that file path, paste it right here. Then we're going to paste it again into where we want the binaries built. And then also we will do, we'll make it, have it be in a new folder. We'll call that build underscore, which I just copied that off of a video I have linked in the description where I learned about this. So we'll do that, and then we will say configure. Builddirect does not exist. Yes. Create it. Here, specify a generator for this project. Make sure, because I mean I should have known this, but I totally forgot. So it says Visual Studio 17. That's not 2017. That is the actual version. You see, after that is the year 2022. I have Visual Studio 2019, which is Visual Studio 16. So I'll click that. If you have the new 2022 one, you will click 17. So just go by this year at the end. So I'm going to click 19, and then just leave everything default and click finish. Now when we do this, let's see. I'm expecting an error. Alright, so we get a pop-up with an error. That's because these SDL2 paths have not been defined. Which one is it? SDL2 library, SDL2 include directory. So for the include directory, so this is what we're going to do. Go into the SDL that you unzipped. I'm going to go to include. And then we're going to, again, copy that. But one quick step in between, it does not like backslashes. It thinks that you're escape charactering, whatever. So we're just going to, in this case, you can do it manually. I'm lazy, so I go in Notepad++ and I just replace all the backslashes with front slashes. Replace all. Copy that and put that into include dir. Enter. Paste that. Enter. For library, because it specifically makes sure you do the ones it's asking for. SDL2 library. Not this main one, but SDL2 library. For that one, go back to our, I'll just click through it again. Go in your unzipped SDL2 and go into lib, and then because we're on 64-bit, go into x64, and then you're going to copy that path. And then again, we're going to go into Notepad, and then I'm going to do my bit of laziness here. Replace backslash with front slash. Then select the whole thing, copy, paste that into SDL2 library, enter. Now let's press configure again. Now configuring is done. You see some red stuff and some warnings, but that's fine. Then we're going to press generate. Generating is done. So what that has done is now we go into our project folder, prboom 2, and in our little build directory it made, it has created for us a Visual Studio solution. So now you want to double click that, and then it's going to take us into Visual Studio. At some point, it will. Now look at that. We've got all these little projects in here. This is our main one that we want to look at. This is that we're doing. But so now we're in here. Let's look at our output. I don't see anything right now. So first click Save All. Just see if it barfs on you. I don't know if it's trying to do something right now. Okay. So then we're just going to right off the bat see if we can just build this whole thing. And again, this is one where I'm expecting an error, and then we're going to fix it. And yeah, this will take a little bit, but all right. So we have all these errors. These are linker errors. And for the uninitiated, so the compiler compiles code into these little compiled globs called object files, and the linker is what mushes them all together into an executable. And the linker is giving us an error saying, I don't see any of this SDL stuff. What are you talking about? So to resolve that, what we're going to do is we're going to go into Project Properties. And this is for, make sure you have, so before I do that, you can also do it here. Make sure it's the dsda-doom one that you're looking at over on the left. And my throat's getting dry. Let me drink some water. Ugh. So in the dsda-doom properties, we're going to go into linker. And then, which one was it? Input. And we're going to go to additional dependencies, because it does not have the SDL dependency for some reason. And then we're going to add another one. And what are we going to add? We're going to add show me the desktop. What is the name of this? dsda-2.lib. So drop down, edit, add sdl2.lib. Let me just double check that that's, yep, that's what it's called. And then click OK. And then OK again. And then we're going to see a different error this time. Yeah. So it cannot open sdl2.lib because it doesn't know where that is. So we're going to again go into properties. And then in linker general, oh, that's right. Additional library directories right here. So we're going to click that. So linker general additional library directories. Click this drop down, edit. Click this little new folder button. And then we'll make a new blank line. Click the little three dots. And so we're going to go to the desktop SDL folder that you unzipped. We're going to go to lib x64. That's where our SDL2 DLL is. Select folder. OK. OK. Now, let's try and build again. And it says, build succeeded. Hell yeah. So if we're lucky, dsda-doom, prboom 2, build, debug. Look at that. I forgot another step. We'll do it live. So go into SDL2, lib x64, sdl2.dll. Copy that, and then let's close these. Go back in dsda-doom, prboom2, build, debug, and then paste that here. Now try and launch it. All right, awesome. Now we're here to where 2.wad, and we're going to put it right next to dsda-doom. And check it out. All right. Let me set a few. Now, just as a little sample, I'm going to make a couple of changes just to show like stuff you can do. So we have the project open, so you can go into source files. This is the reason I wanted to build it, just to make these dumb little changes that I was doing. pinter.c. It's for handling interactions when you collide with stuff. But it's a lot of the logic for, picking up health, armor, and ammo. So what I'm going to do, and just, so let's, okay, here's one. This is the method that gets run, the function that gets run when you like run over an ammo clip or an ammo box or something. And it says, if the player has maximum ammo, just don't do anything, and it returns. So I don't want to do that. So the shortcut for commenting in Visual Studio is hold down Control and type KC. So we're going to do that. Then here's another part that says if, and this is the line right here that adds the number of bullets, shells, whatever that in the box you just picked up to your ammo count. Then it goes and says, well, if you picked up more than your maximum allowed ammo, we're going to just set it to the max ammo because you've hit your maximum. I'm going to go and comment that out. Oh no, I guess you got to highlight the entire line. Comment that out too. Then I'm also going to see, give weapon, give body. Give body, I think is, no, okay. That starts your player character. Alright, give armor. Here's another change that I made when I was playing around, just to show as an example. This is the function for, you run into a blue armor or green armor, and it's basically saying, like, if you hit a green armor and you're over 100 armor, you don't do anything. Or if you're at 200 armor, don't do anything if it's a blue armor. So we're going to comment that out. And then I'm going to, instead of setting your armor to 200 when you pick up a blue armor, for example, I'm going to add that much. So plus equals, if you're not familiar, adds this much to your armor total. It basically says this plus the new armor is what we assigned to your armor points. The armor type, I didn't want to screw with changing that logic, so I just set it to 2. That's the blue armor. All right. Power-ups. Vulnerability. Let's see. Touch special thing. Give armor, mega armor, health bonuses, and then if player health, max health bonus. All right. This is saying don't add any more if you're at max health. Comment that out too. And then comment out max armor. Soul Sphere. Comment out when it's the max. And then Megasphere. So this is one thing that annoys me, is why I even did this. Instead of doing like the other ones and adding 200 health, 200 armor, it just goes and sets your armor to 200, your health and armor. So instead of doing that, I'm going to add the health to it. And then, let's see. And then the give armor, we've already changed the armor method, the function, to just add 200 instead of setting it 200. And I think that's all I needed to change to just show this off. So I will save that. I'm going to build it again. And then let's go back here. And let's look at I'll show you in Hey Not Too Rough. Oh no. Okay, I screwed something up. Maybe if I get hopefully I didn't script the Megasphere one. Yeah, look, okay. 300, 200. So apparently I just forgot to change the function for that. Didn't add anything either. But I mean, you get the basic gist. P enter, and I have it changed properly. The other one, that if you want to change it to that's what I wanted to do, was remove the ammo caps and the armor and health caps. You can change all that. And that's, you know, this is how you do it. So yeah, I just want to firstly thank this great video that I found, that I didn't even know that you use CMake to generate Visual Studio projects. Like that, I don't know how I didn't know that, but I linked the video in the description that showed me how to do that. Thanks to people on Stack Overflow helped me figure out any issues I had. Also, GraphZol, back in the day, he helped me out a bit trying to build his fork of prboom Plus, which eventually dsda-doom was based on it. So that was kind of the progenitor to this. So anyway, I hope this helps. Yeah.